Okay, I'm going to share some hooded eye tricks. Clearly, I don't have hooded eyes. I do have what I like to refer to as hooded lids, which means like it's slightly hooded when I'm looking forward. My lid is. I don't have hooded eyes. I do have a lot of real estate going on up here, which is what I always refer to. This is something that I receive requests for often. And I was on Twitter and someone tagged me in this girl's post, kel.lauren on Twitter. This is the girl, which first of all, like makeup, hair, aesthetic, stunning, obsessed, love it. Now she posted this and said, my first attempt at makeup like this. If anyone has any tips or YouTube videos, please help me out. I want to do that cute, colorful makeup you see all over IG, but I have hooded eyes and they make eye makeup challenging. Now she has, if I just put a like real deep zoom on her eye, love that eye look, by the way. Those lashes, like that's really annoying. I want those eyelashes. She has hooded lids similar to me, you know, like when I look down like that, I have this crease here, but she does have like quite a bit of real estate. So a lot of the things that people, or a lot of the people who ask me for advice or tips say that they have no real estate. Like their eyes are hooded and their brow comes down very far. To start off, if you have, I think I'm going to call her Lauren because it was like in her Twitter name. If you have a situation like me and Lauren, where you have hooded lids and you're trying to do a cut crease or you're trying to blend your crease and you just don't know where to go because you're confused by that, the easiest thing to do is go above that line. Let me zoom you in so we can really talk about the eyes. So if I'm looking down, or if I turn to the side, you can see like where my brow bone goes in a little bit, like where it starts to go in, and that's around my eye socket. So if I feel right here, that's where like the natural crease of my eye is. When I'm looking forward, that comes down a little bit more. So if I'm gonna do a cut crease, or I don't know, if I want to kind of like push this area back in space because it folds over a little bit and it tends to drag my eyes down, then I'm gonna bring that transition shade, or I'm gonna start off with that crease color right here. So right above that fold. So if you're trying to do a cut crease or you're trying to do anything like that, and you feel like you can't because of this crease, don't worry about it. You can literally just draw right above it. You don't have to stick to the rules that you think you do, in other words. So if that is your situation, then that is what I would suggest. And I've done plenty of videos, you know, basically any of my eyeshadow tutorials, you know, if you have like this kind of situation, is gonna be great. Now, for very hooded eyes, and let me show you an example of like who I'm thinking of, because people like Jennifer Lawrence come to mind. Here she is with like not too much makeup on. You can see she does have hooded eyes. So her lid is hooded, so more of my lid shows through when I'm staring straight ahead. Now, something that her makeup artists do is they play a lot with the corners of the eye, because she doesn't have, I mean, she does have like a decent amount of space from like where the top of her lash line is to her brow. Like she can put color there, but something that they do is this. So they'll really accentuate the outer part of the eye. So you can see that that shadow is going here. Like a lot of it is like right there. So if you have hooded eyes and you're like, I can't put eyeshadow anywhere, just erase the fact that, or erase the belief that you have to put it only on your eyelid. You do not. You can put it wherever the fuck you want. If you don't want to put it on your lid and you want to put it up here, you can do that. If you want to put it out here, you can do that. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you basically like how to shape it. I think I'm going to do eyeliner too. So I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario palette. This is the Master Mattes. Just a bunch of great newts. Just a bunch of great newts. So I'm going to start off with this shade right here. It's kind of like a mustardy, warm, whatever. Now, another thing that you want to keep in mind is the size of your brushes. If you have smaller, like for instance, Jennifer Lawrence here has just small, my phone's so dirty, has just smaller eyes than me. Like my eyes look bigger, you know? Since you're working with like smaller amount of space, you want to work with smaller brushes. So you do not want to be, you know, going in with a brush like this because you're just gonna get eyeshadow all over the place. I'm constantly stressing the importance of the size of your brushes. I don't know why I zoomed you in, I'm still talking. So this is the Morphe M521. This is a huge blending brush. This isn't even something that I use for my crease. This is something that I'll like diffuse color out here with. This is the Morphe M433. This is a very typical blending brush. This is something like a MAC 217. Even this can be too big. In fact, for Jennifer Lawrence, this would probably be more of a, you know, smoke out or refine the edges kind of eyeshadow brush. Some really good examples are this one from Morphe. This is the Black and Gold collection. Super annoying. They have no names. I don't even know if this is available anymore. But this size, it looks tiny, but you need that precision. So tiny brushes like this is the Sigma E25. That's a little slightly more like, gives you a little bit more precision. It gets flat when you turn it. e.l.f. has a really good small blending brush. Morphe has my favorite ones, honestly, just because they're super affordable and they have like a vast range. But so just keep in mind the size of your brushes. So I'm actually gonna start off with the Sigma E25 brush, and I'm gonna pick up that mustardy shade. I'm gonna focus it on the tip of the brush. The first thing that I typically do, considering my eyes and the shape and everything, is I would start up here, and I would start by pushing that back. Now for hooded eyes, what I would do, especially for like a Jennifer Lawrence type, is start here. Okay, so I'm kind of creating a much straighter shape. So I'm starting at the outer corner of the eye, but I'm going to be bringing it outward. And then obviously we have to imagine that I don't have all this real estate up here, but so start at the outer corner, swoop it out a little bit, and then you can kind of like, you know, angle it up a little, depending on how much space you have, obviously. Like for my eyes, I would probably bring it all the way up here, push that back. So I'm kind of focusing on like more of a triangular shape. I should have like drawn my eyebrows way down here so that it would be easier to to see, but imagine my eyebrows are like this low. You see what I mean? So we don't have to worry about missing out on space here. And the small brushes is going to allow you obviously more precision so that it doesn't end up like going all over the place, or it doesn't end up looking like just a big blotch. Okay, now I'm gonna pick up that smaller Morphe brush, the small blending brush, and I'm gonna pick up this dark brown shade, this one. And I'm going to build that up a little bit and start bringing it onto the corner of the lid. Now, obviously this is all going to depend on how big your lids are and how much room you have. And once again, really accentuating the triangular shape, just kind of swooping it out. Now, if you have downturned eyes, you can kind of like create a little bit more of a swoop going like that. You don't have to take it straight out or even down. It might feel like this, taking it out here might drag your eyes down a little bit, but it's all about how you, like which direction you kind of like sweep that eyeshadow, you know? So I'm just building this up along my lash line, just to the center. Okay, what you do with the lid is gonna be just preference. It depends on like, if you want to push that area back, then you want it to be, you can just take that like dark brown all over the place. If, you know, you want it to be light when you look down or blink or whatever, then, you know, obviously make it light. I'm just using the light peach shade from the palette right now so that it's got something, but I really just kind of wanted to focus on like how you should handle, you know, the outer corner. So the lid is kind of whatever. If you feel like it's not worth it because no one's really gonna see it, then you can just kind of like take that dark shade all over, or, you know, just put like a placeholder shadow. So now for the lower lash line, once again, you wanna make sure that you're using the appropriate sized brushes. So I'm actually gonna use that tiny Morphe blending brush, and I'm gonna pick up the dark brown, and I'm going to kind of like define the outer part here and connect it with what we did out here. Now, what you do with your lower lash line is completely up to you. You can smoke it out as much as you want, whatever you're comfortable with, honestly. But if you, like for instance, I have these like wrinkles down here, I really like to smoke out my lower lash line. But if I'm going to cover this whole like eye bag like I usually do, I don't really have enough shadow out here to balance it out. So I would have to add more smoke, like on the outer corner, like drag it out a little bit more, make it a little bit more dramatic. I can show you what that looks like. Maybe I'll just do that. So the whole makeup look just ends up being a little bit more straight. Okay, so now I'm gonna pick up that first like tan shade. I keep changing the color of it. I'm gonna smoke out my whole lower lash line to show you what it would look like. If you're having a hard time with this, like knowing where to start off with your upper part of your eye, you can actually start off with your lower lash line. And when you start to blend out here, just follow the line of like your lower lash line so that you don't end up taking it downward. Like if you're afraid of that, afraid of making your eyes look like they're gonna be turned down, just follow this, like the way that this goes, right like that, because it ends up connecting anyway. Now, obviously the more dark eyeshadow that we take in or down is going to drag our eyes down a little bit, right? Because we don't have as much eyeshadow up here to balance it out. So if I make this whole thing really, really dark, it can end up looking a little bit unbalanced. So for instance, right now, it looks like my under eye bags are just like very heavy and kind of dragging my whole eye down. So if you find that that happens, then you're gonna wanna balance it out a little bit more. So you're gonna want to make this just a little bit more dramatic. So I'm gonna go in with that first tan shade and I'm gonna start just over everything. And then I'm gonna slowly drag it out. Like that. And then for eyeliner, personally, I don't know all the tricks because once again, I don't have like strictly hooded eyes. But Alyssa Ashley has a eyeliner trick. I will try to find the video and link it down below for you. But the way that I would tackle it is exactly the same way that we did the eyeshadow. So I'm gonna use the House Labs eyeliner. Once again, what you should do is focus on right at the corner of your eye, right? And drag it straight out. Confident sweeps. Okay, that one wasn't so confident. And then drag it back, and you want to basically focus all of that on the outer corner. And then what you can do is connect it with your lower lash line. Because see where there's like kind of this step? You can kind of like fill that in. And then obviously you can like really extend that to your lower lash line, or you can just keep it. I really fucked that guy up, huh? So it's kind of like hugging the outer corner of our eyes. And you really, I mean, if you're applying mascara and everything, like, you don't have to line your whole eye because it's probably gonna end up either covering your whole lid, right? And it might just end up making your eyes look very heavy. So this is kind of the shape that I would suggest. And then after you like bring your eyeliner down here, you can kind of like go back in with your blending brush and just soften that edge if you don't like it too hard or too obvious. Okay, so I just put on lashes to, and mascara to finish it off. So you can obviously see this is very much the shape that we're going for. I would suggest flare shorter, more flared lashes. The ones that are fantastic are like these are pretty long actually, but I would suggest Ardell Faux Mink Wispies. Those are fantastic. The ones that I'm wearing are from Velour. Velour recently went vegan, which is really exciting. So they do not do mink lashes anymore. These are the, it says Vegan Luxe Fiber. I do have a code with Velour in case you are curious, but this style I really like. This is Wisp Me Way, which I think is quite nice, but anyway. All right, guys, that's it. I hope that that helped you in some way. Just remember to like think outside the box a little bit. You don't have to do your makeup the way other people are, especially if it's not flattering to you. Work with what you got. So if you don't have all the real estate that I got up here, work outward, okay? Same goes with colors. If you have hooded lids and, a little bit of your lid shows when you blink, or if you look down or whatever, you can get away with wearing like bright colors and it looks like less intense, So you can wear like a colorful eyeshadow all over your lid and it's just gonna be like hints of it here and there. So experiment, Yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope it helped, and next time.